It is TV powered by World Sports Betting. It is times.co.za. Hello, everybody, and welcome to It is TV. My name is Angolo, and I'm with Lindo Pep. We are building up to Bafana Bafana playing against Angola in this group that has Angola, Bafana Bafana. It also has Zimbabwe and Egypt. Bafana Bafana playing in a 20 minutes time from now. And of course, Egypt later on will take on Zimbabwe. Lindo Pep, thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm sharp, Mr. Nkewena. I think Ngulisa wena. Ngulisa out here chasta. Morocco, we are here. 2025.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gale tournament.
Yeah, no.
Interestingly enough, the first two penalties awarded in this tournament, both of them have been saved. So in the previous game, Mali and Zambia, there was a penalty saved by the goalkeeper. Yesterday as well, in the first half, there was a penalty and it was saved by the goalkeeper. So hopefully, if we get the penalty as Bafana Bafana, we will be able to score it. Before we start talking about the game and the lineouts, let me read it out for the people, our fans. So Bafana Bafana are lining up this way. We have Ronan Williams on goal. Right back, Kurisho Mudao, Ngezana and Bogazi are the two centre backs. Mudiba is the left back. On the right-hand side, we have Mohaun Kota, midfielders, Amukwena and Sitole, Ozun Apolis on the left, Sipombule in front of the midfielders, and Lyle Foster as the lone striker. From the Angolan side, the goalkeeper is someone we would be familiar with. Used to be a goalkeeper for Cape Town City, Hugo Max. And then they have Mata, Gaspar, Boatu, and Show, Tocanero, Maestro, Freddy Luvumbo, Gelsin Dala, and Zola. So those are the players then who are playing for Angola. Let's maybe respond or react to a lineup. Go Bafana Bafana, what does that tell you?
Mr. Nkeo, no surprises, to be honest with you. No surprises in the lineup. Expected to Stole to play next to Tebza. Ngezane, for me, I expected him to start over Usbisi, considering obviously international experience and the fact that he's playing in the Europa League. Maybe for me, personally, as Lindo Pep, I would have opted for Kabini instead of Opri from a pragmatic perspective. Because normally, Mr. Nkeo, in any group game, more especially in a game, first league game, first group game, first game year tournament, those games normally you tend to be pragmatic. You tend to focus more on not losing rather than obviously winning. Getting a 3 points is what you're looking for.
Very important.
But for sure, you're not going into that game thinking, because if you lose the first game, based on the other
game and the next game.
It's very important. Mostly in big tournaments, more especially Mr. Nkeo, you'll find that teams start opening up maybe in the second games, where in the second game you would find them to be more explosive. But in the first game, very pragmatic. But very excited to see you Opry in that space. That tells you already about the approach that the coach will want to attack about fullbacks who are going to be high. That necessarily tells you that Apolis has two responsibilities today. He has to play a double position, which is sometimes next to Umbule as a number 10 or sometimes Akitash line. Because Opry, the other quality he has, I think this is what the coach is thinking about. He can invert into midfield next to Uyaya Stole, sometimes in the build-up, maybe if we want to dominate the ball, which is to have Uyaya. Because Uyaya, yes, is comfortable on the ball, but not as comfortable as Opry Nomkwena. So in the build-up process, you want the most comfortable players on the ball. So sometimes maybe if you want to overload in midfield, you can bring in Opry, because let's be honest, he's very comfortable, Mr. Nkeo. Hardly ever loses the ball, plays in a team as well that plays the same system. So that gives you an advantage in terms of having Opry into that space. In terms of attack, obviously, I'm expecting a big performance from Usipombule in terms of controlling game, taking shots outside the box. Utebs is going to come from deep. So Umbule has a big responsibility today in terms of the creative department that we have. Mohaun Kota has one job, Mr. Nkeo, today. Run behind the defense. Do not come into midfield. We are already overloaded. If you do go out wide, maybe totally support from Ukulisho Mdao. Hugo, I like Hugo because Coach Hugo brings the best out of Ukulisho. He doesn't ask him to be in the final third. He doesn't ask him to provide the last pass before we score. So you probably get Unkota into that space. Also, maybe Ukulisho with his experience, he's telling the boy, mfana trust, kitlamaka 1v1, Zamai, take a risk, boy. So sometimes you need to play with fullbacks who are that confident in terms of 1v1 defending, collective defensively. Also, Mr. Nkeo, very important to say, he's going to help Ungezane in terms of Ungezane, if Ushawa interpret Pola, in terms of recovery. I think Ukuliso can help him. The pace ana Ukuliso, the pace Kambogazi will help Opru also on the left-hand side, because no matter what quality you are saying Opru Nayo, defensively, if they play one ball behind the defense, you need the pace Kambogazi. You need the Mbogazi to be level-headed. Less emotions on the boy today, because with less emotions, the more you think better, you tend to make better decisions on the pitch. So when I'm looking at the lineup, I'm thinking to myself, what I'm expecting from a coach, in the first 15 critical phase, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'm expecting a pragmatic approach. Why? His line of thinking is, I cannot risk, I don't know what Angola will up, because even we had a conversation now. This is the first game. Angola can destroy you if you give them the opportunity to outrun you. Because they are thinking to themselves, we are playing against the South African national team, they are favorites. We are going to come here, and if they outplay us, we've got one thing to do. We cannot allow them to outwork us. Not just only outrunning us. For us to win this football game, we are going to play for pride, which means that we're going to have to outrun them. We're going to have to outwork them. Because technically, you are playing against a superior team. From an individual player quality, you are playing against players that are superior than you. Maybe the back four, Maucheki back four, Angola, they do have European-based players. Maybe the goalkeeper with his experience as well. Maucheka the back three, because Badalange back three with a single defensive midfielder. That also tells you the approach in terms of...
They're full-backs and wing-backs, basically.
So already that tells you they've got players that are going to play double position. And immediately that tells you that it's a very pragmatic system. They are coming into this game hoping not to lose. They are coming into this game, a draw being a best result.
Right, I'll come back to you, Lindo. We're not finished. Thank you so much for that initial reaction. Before I go to Bob, let me just acknowledge as well the audience, our people who are here. We have 450 people who are here on our Facebook and on our YouTube as well. We just show me just what's happening on YouTube. On Facebook, there's around 500 people who are watching us. We hope as well there's around 300 people who are watching us on our YouTube as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, we keep on showing you the lineup. Bobzit, you look fresh. I want you to have a look at this lineup if you haven't seen it. If you remember it.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I want you to react to it.
Oh, okay.
What is surprising you? Welcome as well, Bobzit. What is surprising you about it? You're allowed to have a phone because we're looking at it, unless you have a good memory. What is surprising you about the lineup? Just your reaction as well. Also greet the people as well.
Yeah, no, Mr. Nkeo, itingulise everyone.
Sure.
Ngulise no my leader. Nani nje noma ngimbekile kanje.
Yeah, iPirates team enkulu yona sha.
Pirates team enkulu. That national team today.
Sengisho nje ukuthi iPirates team enkulu.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with Bafana Bafana. I'm just saying.
It's
a factual statement.
Yeah, team enkulu. Ngiyasubalekela.
Pirates is a
yeah, it's a big team.
1937.
1937 lingana nabo AmaZulu kuyanga.
No, I'm not. I don't play that game. Bafana ukuthi Pirates.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm just teasing you by saying something factual.
Yeah.
Ngifuna ukubona ukuthi uyavuma noma uvumi. iPirates team enkulu.
Team enkulu Pirates.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Nkeo, yabo. No, ngiyasubalekela lokho. Lo Pirates a big team, bra. And kwamanje uyabona yenza kahle kakhulu.
Of the bags.
Ivele ifake istamp ibonise ukuthi team enkulu.
Yes, sir. Your reaction? Any surprises?
Yeah, no, mina Mr. Nkeo into engakutshela yona ukuthi angwabona ama surprise abangangaka. Into ebengilindele ukuthi uyaya uzofika kule lineup. Ngakutshela ngathi uYugo Bros yabaza abadlali bakhe. Uyakwazi ukuthi i-approach yakhe ibe kanjani kulama team. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi ukumenza ukuthi alethe uyaya nomdlalo ofana noTebza. Ufuna ukunikeza umdlalo ofana noMaster Chef. I-freedom.
Yeah.
Akwazi ukudlala uMaster Chef manje. The way simazi uMaster Chef adlala ngakhona. Uzolose ibhola but angeke asabe ukulose ibhola because sina two yabadlali labamprotectayo. You understand? So ngiyacabanga ukuthi le 4-2-3-1 afuna ukudlala today. Uyazi ukuthi uzo attacka ngabadlali abafana noNkotha no Apolis no Foster bese ujoina ngayo umdlali ofana no Master Chef. Khumbula ukuthi the way adlala ngakhona uyazi ukuthi madlala nga2 double pivot. Ulinde kuphela ukuthi angeke bakhuphuke labadlali laba because ubheke ukuthi if usailor no Obre bayakhuphuka kancane. Kumele sibe ne rest defense. tight. Uyazi ukuthi the two central midfield plus une two center back which is Umbokazi noNgezana. Abadlali physically ba strong. So ngiyacabanga ukuthi I game plan yakhe the way aqhamuka khona ngale lineup ibalance Mr Nkewu because uma ungabheka lela side la kakhulise if uzokhuphuka if uNgezana ufuna ukucover lesa space sinayo umdlali in the middle of the park ozodropa kancane ukuthi alindeni azama uku-add number lapha kule rest defense yale center back.
That center back pairing is a concern.
Yeah.
Angeke sikhale ke ngoba sikaboni we haven't seen the danger.
Yeah.
So we can't complain. There's nothing to complain about. But there is maybe a concern there because of a partnership. Of course, ubudlelwano uyabakha over time. You build a partnership over time. And I don't think that we've seen that partnership Umbokazi and Ngezana over a period of time. And maybe that is one point that is an obvious weakness, or maybe it could be a strength. We'll see how it starts here.
Yeah, last week ngikhulumile indaba le center back ukuthi ngine concern encane ngendaba center back but into engizoyicela today umdlalo ofana noMbokazi kumele abe calm. Angafuni ukufana noNgezana because if bonke bazoba aggressive sizoba ne problem. Umdlalo ofana noMbokazi uyakwazi ukuba calm ugood ebholeni. So if sizofuna bonke labadlali ba panic bangafuni ukudlala sizoba ne problem kule center back. Ngilento engifisa ukuthi uNgezana akagurash. Akekho mnandi ebholeni angisho. So ukhona umdlalo ofana nobani noMbokazi. Uzokwazi ukushala amapass esiwadingayo. If mhlambe sibona abafosla abadlali abafana nobonkotha basebenzisa lesa space nabo apolice. uMbokazi angakwazi ukuthi even though angafuna ukudlalisa abotebza in the middle of the park angakwazi ukuthatha le ball alibeke ku empty space. Sukwazi ukattacker laba bantu. So net nje kubo boy2 oyi1 njengoba uMbokazi abe calm nje kancane. Akathumela uNgezana. Uma ngabe sinomdlali mhlawumbe sibona ngathi ufuna usinika inkingi akathumela uNgezana at least yena be calm akwazi ukuthi amashari le defense ngendlela right Mr Nkewu.
Otherwise Pirates, very big team Pirates.
Mr Nkewu angeke sikubalekele ngisasho namanje but ngifocus kuBafana Bafana today. Uma mention igama le Pirates ukuthi siyo the Christmas position 1 into enhle kakhulu.
Nice one. I'll come back to you. Let me go back to Lindo. I want to pick your brain as well on the same issue.
Yeah.
Your center back pairing. Before we do that, we say hello to 500 people watching us. Over 500 people watching us on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll try as much as we can. Close to 400 people also watching us on our YouTube. So that's a very good audience. We try as much as we can to do this before the games during the AFCON. And of course, we always have the halftime with Junior and so as well. When you look at that center back, concern, no concern?
Spoke about it yesterday. Very, very concerned. And there's one thing about Ubo Baishil, I think I referenced before again. I said the one thing about the boy for me personally is less emotions. In football, when you're in that football pitch, Mr. Nkeu, the key players, the players that are going to play a crucial role, we cannot get them in that's why even Bob's in. Even as a coach, you tell yourself you're not going to overcoach him. You're not going to feed him too many instructions because you need to give him the opportunity to think and to make decisions for himself based on the picture that he sees. You need a player that is calm, more especially when the game requires you to be high in emotions, because that's another tactic that we always speak about when we speak about these African teams. They get you emotional. They get you into a space where you are emotional, and then you make rash decisions, and then those rash decisions turn into mistakes, and mistakes tend to cost the team, which is something that in the African game, this is the apex of African football, finer details, minor details. So for me, I'm saying to the boy, calm down. Ungezana tumela yena, akurasha, agree no bobo. He's the one that needs to play like a 4. Focus on the striker, deal with the striker, then allow the boy to clean. We are not saying Ungez Ulentu's Umbokazi mustn't have that responsibility, because Angola can be smart because based on his height, they can always say to the tall striker, stick Nomfana because he doesn't have Kurasha, maybe in the air, based on their game plan to say, let's play on the second ball, let's hoof it, target Umbokazi, you win the first ball, and then we come and support on the second ball. But for me, I'm very worried because number one, there's no chemistry, number two, there's no relationship. But the positive thing about them is that they are very aggressive. So Coach Hugo is probably thinking to himself, they are going to come aggressive. They're going to come with a lot of speed, with a lot of physicality. So let me match pound for pound. Let me match physicality for physicality.
I need to bring something else to you guys and our audience as well.
Yeah.
In the first game yesterday, there was a VAR check.
Yeah.
Multiple ones. There was one that gave Morocco a penalty. They missed it. In the game that just ended now, Zambia against Mali, there was a VAR check, penalty given as well. Our players, most of them play domestic football, and domestically we don't have VAR.
Yeah.
There's something about the emotions that you mentioned, which is, and even emotions for us as fans as well, that something we are unfamiliar with. there's a penalty on VAR, and I hope that the players will respond to it positive. Feel like you feel aggrieved because they've given a penalty that you are questioning. And this is an added element. Yes, there was VAR in the last AFCON, but there's an additional element here that can add pressure. Look, whatever you do in the box, this is not PSL football, because there's no VAR in PSL football, then you commit fouls. So that's very important as well.
Funny enough, under 17, under 20, it's Tandili VAR.
Yes, they gave us penalties.
And funny enough, the boys took advantage of VAR. But there's two things that worry me, Mr. Nkeo, and I'll get to the VAR one. The number one thing that worries me is the pressure of dealing with expecting to win, Bobzin. For me, I'm hoping that we don't crumble under pressure. I'm hoping that Ashawa is stage fright, because we're always underdogs. So now we're coming into this game expected to win. So for me, that's the number one thing. The VAR is a big issue. It might be a hindrance in us maybe winning this tournament, because there are certain dynamics within the box that these North Africans that play European football who understand the VAR system. Remember, even referees and the FA, they do go to these football clubs and they educate them about VAR. So our football players, they don't have maybe VAR education. But from a development perspective, I'm hoping that ISAFA they play their due diligence in terms of
if they're playing under VAR every week, then they understand
for sure.
Grabbing people in the box when there's a corner, kunama consequences. Manje, they only play in knockout CAF Champions League, for example, most of our players, and only in the AFCON as well.
Mr. Nkeo, part of development is not only technical, tactical, it's also emotional and psychological.
Yeah.
Some of the most development players, because ni 30, 60, you might not play sometimes for 2 months. You build that emotional toughness, you build that mental toughness. And that's exactly what is needed in these games. Mental toughness, psychological toughness, togetherness, more especially in difficult and in tough moments, because it goes shisa at some point. And that's when you need your cool heads.
Absolutely. Let me wrap up with your prediction, then I'll go to Bobo. What do you think is going to happen?
Mr. Nkeo, Angola is not a pushover. Like I said, the first games are very, very difficult. Difficult to predict, pragmatic. But prediction, to be honest with you, I do see us winning the game. I'm expecting us to have a very solid block of 2, more especially defensively and in midfield, with a 1-0 result, with a clean sheet, which makes it a very good result for us.
All right, nice one. Thank you, Lindo Pep. Bobzit is Lindo. We have 2 minutes before the start of the national anthems. What do you expect? And maybe also touch on the emotional part of Ukdala stage.
Yeah.
Experiencing something you don't normally experience, things like VAR, for example.
Yeah, Mr. Nkeo, ukhuluma into ebaluleke kakhulu, especially when it comes to VAR. Kubalekile uLindo uqinisile, kubalekile abadlali ongabheka beAngola. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi iningi lebadlali abalapha badlala kune VAR labadlala khona. So lento leyo banceda kakhulu. Ama decision abafuna ukwayenza. I'm worried kakhulu ngabadlali abawu2 ku defense yethu. Number 1 umdlalo ofana noKhuliso. Kumele anake izandla zakhe ukuthi usebenzisa kanjani, because lento yokubeka isandla always angayithola red card. Singathola ama-foul, ama-free kick basipunish, because always umbheke umadlala uKhuliso uprotect ibhola, uprotect ufile opponent ngesandla. And lento le sometimes ku VAR ngasinikeza iproblem. Njengoba sikhuluma ngomdlalo ofana noMbokazi, sithi akayihlise mhlawumbe leyo tempo kancane. Mhlawumbe ngafika la khona imlimaza kakhulu, because uGuraso ufight nabanye abadlali ukunikeza inkinga, because bazokuthinta ngabomu bakwazi ukuthi no man awunayo le nhliziyo. Sometimes uzofuna ukuthi uretaliate mhlawumbe na uma asho something. Yibo abadlali ngibona ngathi bangahle mhlawumbe basinikeze iproblem, but thina sizobenefita kubadlali abafana nabonkotta. Le speed esinaso nabo apolice, especially if sizoba sidlalela next to the box, mhlawumbe singene eboxini. Apolice is good, you know ukuthi mangene eboxini uyabusa, kumthinta nje one mistake singayithola nathi penalty. So ngicabanga ukuthi kule part ye VAR singakhawateka siphinde sibenefit, especially offensive well. We understand, yes.
Yeah, let's look ahead then to your prediction. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's difficult, Mr. Nkeo. Angifuna ukutshela manga ama first game abaleka kakhulu. Ila wonke umuntu asibona qualify ngokuwina first game. But for me mangithi ngiyabheka the way Bafana ingakhona Hugo Brosa ngakhona ngibona le game siwina nge 2-0 today.
Nice one. A win for Bafana Bafana for you, a win for Bafana Bafana for Lindo Pep as well. Thank you so much, Bobzit. Thank you very much, Lindo Pep. We had a very solid start. Thank you to everyone who's watched us as well. We hope you enjoy the game. We'll be back here at halftime, and on Friday we'll be building up as well, just like we did today with the lineups. We already have them out. So yeah. We hope Bafana Bafana will have a good start to the tournament. It won't be easy, but we'll see as it unfolds. Thank you very much for watching us.